I remember watching Nintendo Direct and seeing Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a new 2D Mario with revamped art style. I was excited. But behind that excitement was the cynical part of me that went, new art style or not, whatever they do to it, it's the same old 2D Mario. What more could they do? What captured me wasn't the badges that gave you abilities, or the fancy new art style, or the music. It was the one feature I didn't think much about, the multiplayer experience in a single player game. Once you start playing Wonder, you'll be greeted with the satellites scattered in every world. Interact with them and you'll be greeted with an option to go online. From this menu, you can create rooms and invite your friends to play together, or simply keep your game online and play with strangers. But they are not disruptive. Unlike previous Mario games where every player's interaction with the world affected yours, Wonder doesn't do that. Every player you meet are shadows, and every interaction they have stay within their own. If you are playing with your friends, this may be a deal breaker as the chaos that came out of it was part of the fun. And if you're playing by yourself, you'd think it's an unnecessary feature and may end up not enabling it at all, without realizing that this may be the greatest multiplayer experience you could ask for. The brilliance of this game is that every feature in the game, the devs designed it so that the player needs to use them all. For example, don't want to use badges? Well, too bad, because there are levels called Badge Challenge where you're automatically equipped with a particular badge on a level designed to showcase his abilities. Don't want to go online? Well, here's a level where you have to find secrets in order to beat it. This level right here is the reason why I fell in love with this game, and why I think so highly of it. You could, in theory, play this by yourself and beat it. It'll take you an awfully long time, but it can be done. But once you play it with other people, there's a sense of camaraderie that you can only feel in multiplayer games. Putting up standees on invisible blocks to show clues, giving each other hints on where the secrets may be. I haven't had this much fun in a multiplayer game in a long time, if I can even call this a multiplayer game. I never really liked Nintendo's approach to multiplayer. Having to use a smartphone to voice chat, paying a fee for a mediocre connection and reliability. The one thing I did respect was their firm stance on protecting kids and anyone from toxicity, which is why I believe voice chat is now part of the console experience. Anytime I hear about parents talking about their kids playing online games, it makes me sad knowing that they are likely being exposed to all kinds of racism, sexism, and just absolute idiocy our society has to offer. Not having voice chat doesn't automatically remove all this. You can always physically disrupt other people, block their path, teabag, and much more. Even Wonder isn't perfect. If you end up losing your life in Wonder, you turn into a ghost, and if you can touch other players, or a standee you have touched previously, you can come back to life. I've noticed that some players actively run away from ghost players who are trying to come back to life. This can be an uncomfortable experience to some. This is where Wonder's excellence shines. The game tries to be grief-proof. The game does its absolute best to reward those who help others. Standees can revive players, and if used, it will give heart points to whoever placed it. You can also give power-ups and finish gold pulls at the same time to earn more heart points too. Heart points doesn't offer anything other than it being a metric to showcase how much you've helped other players, but it can also turn into a completion goal for hardcore players. Shadows aren't new ideas. Several other games, especially racing games, have this feature. But what sets this game apart is the liveliness. As great as single player games can be, it can sometimes get a bit lonely. You are desperate for any interaction, whether it be an enemy or an NPC. But at the same time, you don't want to play online because you know having pleasant time online is a rare moment. The loneliness of single player games is perhaps why people play multiplayer games. Wonder fills that void in the most unexpected way possible. You are playing with other players, and yet you are on your own. It's like having NPCs being controlled by real people assisting you to victory. A sensation that you are the main character. There are no winners or losers in Wonder. You are not competing with each other. We are all playing single player game together, simultaneously. It's the perfect multiplayer game I could have asked for. I never asked for it or even imagined it. Nintendo clearly knows what they have done to the multiplayer, as they have stated the success of Wonder is due to its ability to play with other people. People say Nintendo is for kids. If you want a grown-up experience, you gotta get a PlayStation or an Xbox. But sometimes, when you just wanna relax without being exposed to toxicity of society, there aren't many options for multiplayer games. In my opinion, Nintendo is one of the few companies that are offering such experience. And Super Mario Bros. Wonder is their finest example. That's it for now. Bye.